Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa. The name of this channel is called Gnostic Knowledge. And today I am going to reread the last part of chapter 12 in the book Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus. I believe I uploaded chapter 12 part 1 and then chapter 12, conclusion of chapter 12, but I think it was still the same video. So I am hoping to, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish reading chapter 12. I think it's about 8 pages. And if I have read this information in another video by chance, which I think I did, I'm not sure, but I just want to make sure that the last part of chapter 12 is available. And thank you to my subscriber, her name is Susan, for letting me know that I had uploaded the same video, chapter 12 part 1 and part 2, but it was the same video. So, and chapter 12 is entitled Tom Hanks and the Use of Celebrity to Sell the Pandemic. And without further ado, I am on page 167, and so I am going to begin reading. And if I've read this in another video by chance, forgive me, but this will, at least I'll be sure that this part of chapter 12 is there to coincide with chapter 12 part 1, and this will be part 2. Okay, thank you very much, and without further ado, let's get started. Page 167, okay? On the subject of Lucifer, there is an important point that needs to be made that connects to the Jesuits. In astrology, the planet Venus, known as the morning star, is symbolic to Lucifer, the light bringer. Okay? And the transit of the planet Venus is said to have been first documented by the Jesuit priest Hell Mixa. What a name, right? For the record, Hell and Catholic both share gematria of 71, the 20th prime number, shedding perhaps even more light on why 2020 is the year that it has been. And not by surprise, Hell, Mixa, and Venus both equate to 54, with the base ciphers the same as Jesuit order. As you learned earlier, Jesuit order also sums to 144, and I bring this up because Hell Mixa eventually died on April 14th, 1792, a date that can be written 14/4, like 144. Okay, and also noteworthy, he died a span of 32 days from his 72nd birthday, having been born May 15th, 1720. As you know, there are 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo, and Jesuit order equates to 72 as well. Also, be sure to keep an eye on this date annually because there is typically foul play on it. Case in point, on April 14th, 2020, it was reported Henry George Steinbrenner III of the Yankees, a name equating to 144, had died unexpectedly on it, 12 days after his April 2nd birthday, where 144 is the 12th Fibonacci number, and 144 has a square root of 12. Furthermore, as you learned earlier, the Society of Jesus and the New York Yankees have quite the relationship. And since I'm bringing up baseball, I should note that Tom Hanks played the part of Jimmy Dugan in A League of Their Own. In addition to that title likely having new meaning to you now, his character name equates to 54 and 153, the same as Jesuit order. As for science and the tracking of celestial bodies, Tom Hanks also starred in Lost Moon, The Perilous Voyage of Apollo 13, a title summing to 201 with reverse Pythagorean. At the same time, the word Apollo sums to 201 alone using Jewish gematria, reminding us that those missions involved the moon landing July 20th, 1969, the 201st day of the Gregorian year. I bring this up because John Krasinski of The Office also posed with a Corona typewriter during the time of the pandemic, similar to Hanks, who posted an image of his Corona with a message about gin rummy and losing by 201 points. In light of the number 201, consider the hit show Krasinski starred in. The Office lasted 201 episodes, and clearly not by accident. That is because there is a Jesuit school in town, Scranton Preparatory School, summing to 239, and similar to the date March 29 or 3/29, the date John Krasinski posed with a typewriter while launching his new news program, Some Good News, SGN. Okay? That's in parentheses, SGN for Some Good News. All right. And to bring it back to the Apollo missions, Glenn Looney, a NASA astronaut, was one of the original employees of NASA and was one of the first scientists to work on the Apollo missions, and he was a graduate of Scranton Preparatory School. And do I dare mention that Scranton sums to 112, reminding of the number of countries the Jesuits operate in? The other celebrity who was caught red-handed with a Corona typewriter was Madonna. In her case, the typewriter was part of her album artwork for Madam X that released June 14th, 2019 on Donald Trump's 73rd birthday and the U.S. flag's 242nd birthday. Keep in mind, the release date was a span of 222 days from January 21st, 2020, when the first case of the virus was confirmed in the United States. And as you know, Wuhan coronavirus equates to 222. Adding to the ritual, on March 9th, or 9/3, similar to 93, also connecting to Wuhan coronavirus, Madonna canceled her March 10th and 11th performance in Paris, France, the original home of the Jesuits. Notice, the second show was to fall on the pandemic date declaration, and fittingly, Madam X equates to 38, same as pandemic. Then on May 1st, 2020, the anniversary of the establishment of the Bavarian Illuminati, on a date with 46 numerology, Madonna announced she had the antibodies to counteract the virus. In light of the Bavarian Illuminati equating to 221, I should note that from the release of her album to the confirmation of the virus in the U.S. was also 221 days later, as opposed to a span of 222 days. Wow. Perhaps the most important ritual Madonna participated in, however, in the lead up to the coronavirus pandemic was her performance at the 64th Eurovision in Israel that began on May 14, 2019, on Israel's birthday. Keep in mind, Israel sums to 64 with Hebrew and English gematria, and Zion sums to 64 just the same. Never mind that on the exact same day, May 14th, the NBA had the Zion Williamson sweepstakes, where Zion Williamson sums to 74 with Pythagorean, and it was the first major event for the upcoming 74th NBA season. As for the predictive programming in the Eurovision performance, Madonna's backup dancers were wearing gas masks and collapsing throughout the performance, almost as if they had died. So I'm going to read that one more time, okay? As for the predictive programming, I can't even get this sentence out. Oh, forgive me, but here we go. As for the predictive programming in the Eurovision performance, Madonna's backup dancers were wearing gas masks and collapsing throughout the performance, almost as if they had died. In one section, Madonna hovers over a fallen dancer and says, "It's not out there, it's in all of us." In light of the way millions have tested positive for coronavirus, despite being asymptomatic, it makes one wonder. I highly suggest you take the time to watch the performance. You will notice she is wearing the same costume with the patch over the left eye that she is clothed in for the Madam X album. And with that said, let us not overlook the Illuminati's well-known one-eye symbolism, or that Madonna has a song titled Illuminati. I didn't know that. I don't remember. I'm going to have to go and look into that song. Okay. When you get a moment, be sure to look up the lyrics regarding, and I think it's still talking about the song The Illuminati. Okay, Madonna has a song titled Illuminati, and when you get a moment, be sure to look up the lyrics, and he means to that song. Okay. Regarding Madonna, let us not forget that in recent history, Aretha Franklin had died on her birthday, August 16th, 2018. I'm assuming that's Madonna's birthday, okay? This matters because Queen sums to 62 with simple English, same as Madonna. And Aretha was considered the Queen of Soul. Adding to the ritual, 4 days after Aretha's death, Madonna was chosen to speak at the MTV Video Music Awards about the death of Aretha. In her speech, she told the story of how her personal music career began with $35 in her pocket. No doubt a tribute to Satan, the Catholic people. Catholics, 35, I think. It's crazy. Consider Elvis Presley, who died on the same day as Aretha Franklin years earlier, was born in 1935. And when he passed, Aretha was 35 years old at the time. Man, it is to say that these people are owned and operated by the cabal, and the rituals they participate in are exact and dark. Absolutely. Speaking of dark, Idris Elba became the first black celebrity to be diagnosed with the virus, and one day after his diagnosis, asked the black people of the world not to spread conspiracy theories the way he's lying and doing. Not to spread conspiracy theories about the coronavirus. Mother MFer. Not by chance. The news of his diagnosis was March 16th, 2020, a date with 59 numerology and the 76th day of the leap year. Negro, Idris Elba, you know the code. You guys make me sick. You can make me sick to my stomach. My God, with your fine self, you are a good looking man, but I just wish you guys wouldn't do this stuff. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Okay, moving on. This matters because each of the following words sums to 59 with simple English and 76 with reverse simple. They include Idris, slave, Negro, Rasta, and blues. Let us not forget Acts 7:6 and the 400-year prophecy that landed on August 20th, 2019, or that the Million Man March took place October 16th, 1995, the day leaving 76 days in the year, or that Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year, or that Motown Records was established in 1959. Oh my God, I know you can see these patterns. I know you see them. I know you can see it. This is crazy. Let us also not overlook that Idris Elba was 47 years old at the time of this ritual, the number that defines time. All in all, there were several celebrities from the world of entertainment, media, and politics who came down with the virus by the numbers. Even jailed movie producer Harvey Weinstein, the rapist. Okay. The news of his illness came on the infamous date of March 22nd, 2020. March 22nd, 2020. The 82nd day of the year, corresponding with the gematria of COVID-19. COVID-19, as well as Harvey Weinstein, both equating to 82. And if I messed that sentence up just one more, I'll just reread that. With my interjections, I might have messed it up here. But it says, the news of his illness, Harvey Weinstein, the news of his illness came on the infamous date of March 22nd, 2020, the 82nd day of the year, corresponding with the gematria of COVID-19, as well as Harvey Weinstein, both equating to 82. Adding to the riddle, he was 68 years old at the time, corresponding with the gematria of Wuhan, rape, and guilty, you bastard. Oh man. The date of March 22nd, or 322, also reminds us a bit of another Jewish pervert, Jeffrey Edward Epstein, summing to 322 with reverse simple English. Furthermore, his name, Jeffrey Epstein, sums to 163, the 38th prime, and he reportedly died in jail on Tisha B'Av, August 10th, 2019, 163 days prior to his upcoming January 20th, 2019 birthday, a date that can be written as 20/1 like 201. Oh my God. And if you think I am reaching, look up the news story from July 19, 2020, the 201st day of the leap year, of a restaurant owner burning the table where Epstein and Weinstein used to eat together. The name of the restaurant that received the attention was Main 75. Of course, the number 75 reminds. Of course, the number 75 reminds of the New York Times headline from October 6th, 1940, a date with 75 numerology, reading New World Order pledged to Jews. Oh man. As you know, New World Order and Catholic Church equate to 75. Man, the latter entity being the one doing the pledging in the headline. And at the same time, Jeffrey equates to 75. So you don't need to ask who backed either of these high profile perverts. Absolutely. Also, on the date of March 22nd, Rand Paul became the first U.S. senator to test positive for the virus. This was a fitting date for him because it can be expressed as 22/3, similar to 223, the 48th prime, and the name Rand Paul equates to 48 with reverse Pythagorean. And let us not forget that novel coronavirus sums to 223 with simple English. At the same time, Senator Paul equates to 142 and 155, the same as coronavirus, making him perfect for the ritual. Furthermore, his title, Senator Paul, also sums to 43 and 65, the same as pandemic. This fits in with the fact that he represents Kentucky, a state summing to 43 as well. For another 82 riddle with the virus, Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, equating to 82 with simple English, as well as 19 with Pythagorean, became the first member of the NFL to be diagnosed with COVID-19. That was on March 19, 2020. His 82nd day of being 56 years old. Of course, coronavirus sums to 56. Not long after, Tom Dempsey, who wore number 19 for the Saints, would reportedly die from the virus. Wow. On April 4th, or 4/4 like 44, the kill word, okay. This was 83 days after Dempsey's January 12th, 2020 birthday, and both football and murder equate to 83. While we're at it, please look up the lyrics to the song Murder by Numbers, recorded in 1983 by the band The Police. Again, it is about how killing is the sport of the elite, and it is as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. As you have learned, Dempsey's date of death, 4/4, corresponds with the 44 gematria values of kill and execution. And in this case, Saints also sums to 44 with reverse Pythagorean. Okay? If you want to take it further, you could say he died on his 84th day of his age, and the divisors of 44 sum to 84, the latter being a favorite number of the Jesuits. Yep, they equate to 84. And with regards to the and with regards to the JO, I don't know what that means right now. Okay, Jesuit order, got it. So, and with regards to the JO, Jesuit order, New Orleans sums to 54, the same as Jesuit order. Beyond that, his full name, Thomas John Dempsey, equates to Wuhan coronavirus, both summing to 78 and 210. Taking it another step further, the name Dempsey alone sums to 102, a number that we have learned much about in this chapter. Personally, one of my favorite coronavirus diagnosis rituals was when the 56th governor of New York, Jesuit-educated Andrew Cuomo, announced that the head of New York Post Authority, Rick Cotton, had come down with the coronavirus. This was funny for multiple reasons, including the fact that coronavirus and Rick Cotton sum to 142 with reverse simple English. And in Cuomo's same announcement on March 9, 2020, he said New York had reached 142 total confirmed cases. Boy, these people. Oh, man. It's kind of hot in my room here. So, and I lost my spot. So, where was I? Okay, here we go. Reached 142 confirmed cases. Okay. Keep in mind, March 9th can be expressed as 3/9, similar to 39. I've always referred to New York as the 39 state because of the following words and acronyms. Because the following words and acronyms sum to 39 using the base ciphers. They are New York, Empire, New York, NY, NY, and NYC. So all of those words equate to 39. So NY, so it would be like New York, New York, but it's New York, NY. Then NY by itself and also NYC. Those equate to 39. Okay, adding to the list, New York joined the United States of America on July 26, 1788, a date with 39 numerology, and the first governor was George Clinton, born July 26, 1739, a man having a first and last name equating to 39, and that would be George and Clinton. Beyond that, New York is home to the 39-story United Nations building, and it is the state that hosted the 1939's World Fair. From this day forward, you'll notice how significant the number is to the state in ritual after ritual. For example, it wasn't an accident in 2018 when ESPN stated on a 39-day, when they started, I'm messing this sentence up. Anyway, for example, it wasn't an accident in 2018 when ESPN started a 39-day countdown from moving their show First Take to New York. The countdown began on July 26, 2018, the anniversary of New York joining the Union, counting down to the date of the first show in the Big Apple, September 3rd, a date that can be expressed as 3/9, not unlike 39. Trust me, when it comes to New York rituals, these rituals are a dime a dozen. So it says, trust me, when it comes to New York, these rituals are a dime a dozen, and you won't miss them going forward. If you'd like to do some investigating of your own to put your skills to the test, look into the 5 NFL Super Bowls won by the state, 4 by the Giants, and 1 by the Jets. You will notice every single one paid tribute to the number 39. And it is for this same reason the Vegas line is currently set at 39.5 points for the upcoming Week 1 matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets, September 13, 2020. 2 teams from New York. Even better, as I send this book off to the press, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets have just faced each other in the MLB preseason July 18, 2020, after a 128-day coronavirus break. And the Mets have lost to the Yankees 3-9, another 39. Better yet, the Yankees have improved to 12-8 in the preseason, and they out-hit the Mets 12-8 in the game. And putting the cherry on top, New York Yankees equates to 187 and 191, the same as Society of Jesus. And the 187 corresponds perfectly with the date of the game, July 18th, or 18/7, like 187. Boy, you can't make this stuff up. But apparently they have, and they do, but it's just, oh my God. The rituals weren't just taking place with the Yankees in the United States, however. Across the Atlantic, similar things were transpiring. For example, take the case of Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, or who I prefer to call Bad Barbershop Brother number 2, as opposed to Donald Trump, who is number 1. All jokes aside, Johnson was reported to have been sent to the ICU on April 6, 2020, to receive treatment for the virus. Not by chance. This was his 293rd day of his age, born June 19th. And the term coronavirus pandemic sums to 293 with reverse simple English. Furthermore, the date of April 6th was 74 days prior to his upcoming 56th birthday on June 19th, 2020. Excuse me. And we know how they like to bring 74 and 33 together, such as London and England. In this case, ICU sums to 33 with simple English. Let us not forget that Boris Johnson became the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom on July 24th, 2019, exactly 158 weeks after Theresa May took office in July 13th, 2016. And both Boris Johnson as well as Freemasonry equate to 158 with reverse simple English, reminding us that the Jesuits were first formed in Paris on August 15th, or 15/8, like 158, and in the year 1534. To go further, let us not forget that Brexit sums to 78 like Jesuit, and it was the order out of chaos event that triggered the Prime Minister terms for both Theresa May and Boris Johnson. So let me reread that, okay? Here we go. It says, to go further, let us not forget that Brexit sums to 78 like Jesuit, and it was the order out of chaos event that triggered the Prime Minister terms for both Theresa May and Boris Johnson. With politicians on the brain, and to come back to the man we began with, Tom Hanks, it is reported that he is an ancestor of Abraham Lincoln. This was brought to attention. No, I'm sorry. This was brought attention to in September of 2012 by mainstream press while Hanks was 56 years old. Oh my God. Of course, Barack Obama was the recent U.S. president who represented the land of Lincoln and who won the 56th U.S. presidential election. And one wonders if it is an accident that Barack Obama hosted both Tom Hanks and Bill Gates on the same night to honor them with the Medal of Freedom, summing to 68 in Pythagorean, that infamous number that connects Barack Obama and Seattle, Washington, the latter being the city that brings Tom Hanks and Bill Gates together. This was done on November 22nd, 2016. This was done on November 22nd, 2016, the 53-year anniversary of the assassination of JFK, tying in Hanks equating to 53 and COVID-19 and the former company of Gates, Microsoft, each equating with the base ciphers. Man, it was also a date that came precisely 165 weeks before coronavirus was confirmed in the United States of America. As you'll recall, JFK was killed in Dealey Plaza, named after a Scottish Rite Freemason, and Scottish Rite equates to 165. Scottish Rite also equates to 78 like Thomas Jeffrey Hanks, and 57 like Bill Gates. Let us not forget the medal ceremony was in Washington, D.C., summing to 137 with simple English on Tom Hanks' 137th day of his age. Wow. The same city that has the North American headquarters for the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. The exactness reminds that when Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson returned to the United States from their coronavirus quarantine on March 28th, it was 263 days after Tom Hanks' birthday, the 56th prime, and 155 days after Rita Wilson's having been born October 26, 1956. And as you know, coronavirus equates to 56 and 155, and so does Freemasons. In total, it should make you wonder, were these two married for this planned ritual on April 30th, 1988, with this eventual planned outcome 32 years later, reminding of the number of sun rays on the Jesuit logo. Man. Let us not forget that America and Scottish also sums to 32 with Pythagorean. After all, the wedding was 70 days before Tom Hanks' birthday, and coronavirus equates to 70, the same as Vatican, the entity overseeing the outbreak. If you ask me, this detail of their wedding parallels the fact that Bill and Melinda were married on the first day of 1994, and as we know, Roman Catholic Church equates to 94. Wow. Here we go, and this is the last paragraph of chapter 12. Okay. As we conclude this chapter, please know that across the world and throughout mainstream headlines, there were hundreds of other celebrity coronavirus diagnoses and death rituals by the same repetitive patterns we have already identified. If you want to apply what you have learned and investigate the other related stories, it will be a great way for you to practice and develop your decoding skills. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed by what you find, but you might be disgusted. And I know I have been learning this work. But just keep in mind, we're exposing disgusting people. And when enough people are helping, there will be justice. Oh my goodness, I sure hope that take comes around. So thank you, Truth Seeker, for being part of this cause and being willing to take on this darkness, because it means everything. And Zachary K. Hubbard is exactly right. So that is the end of chapter 12, and I will be posting it as the conclusion of chapter 12. And thank you for listening. And once again, Susan, thank you for letting me know I had uploaded the same video twice with slightly different titles. But in the meantime, you guys have a great day. Keep spreading this knowledge. Give this video, if you would, please, a like and a share so that someone else can find this information, and hopefully they will be inspired to start sharing this information as well, because it is the truth. It is nothing for you to believe in. These are things you can prove yourself over and over and over again, because this is a very repetitive code. And with that said, thank you guys, and I will be back soon. Goodbye.